Hi, Ms. Smith. I understand that you were mandated to come here today. Let's see, your children have been taken away and are in foster placement, and you've been ordered to do 8 sessions of parenting classes. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your situation?
Well, basically, you have it there on paper. Yes, I mean, I was driving with my kids in the car. They were in a seatbelt. They wasn't in a car seat, but they were in seatbelts. The officer put me over. He said that I was driving recklessly. I don't believe that was so, and now I'm basically here.
Mm. So you feel like the officer didn't have a good reason to pull you over because you weren't driving recklessly?
I don't think he had a good reason to pull me over, but when he did, my kids were not in a car seat. But again, they did have seatbelts on.
Mm. So you feel like um, them being in a seat belt is enough protection versus a car seat?
I don't think that. I mean, I know that a car seat, is more protection than a seatbelt.
Mm-hmm.
However, it wasn't my day for the kids. Um, Usually, my sister keeps the kids for me,
Mm-hmm.
and she took the van with the car seats on.
Oh, okay. So your sister usually babysits the kids when it's not. You guys take turns.
Yeah, we take turns when one of us got to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working this waitress job now. It's not any set hours,
Mm-hmm.
so they called me in, and it just so happened my sister wasn't home. I spoke to my supervisor, and she said it was okay for me to bring them.
Oh, you were going to bring them with you to work.
Yes, I had to until someone was able to pick them up.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a really strong work ethic. However, you had you had some a couple of drinks before you were going to go to work.
Oh, yes, I did. Again, I didn't know I was going to have my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 beers and a vodka. And it was just to kind of like, wound down, release, relax
Mm-hmm.
before I went to work. I deal with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it sounds like you use alcohol as a way to de-stress because you have a lot going on in your life right now.
no, I wouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink often. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't drink often. It's just that, I thought, I'm just thinking I'm going to go to work, you know, my customers, sometimes, they can be a little rude sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just kind of want to relax. It was, I actually drunk like, it wasn't right before I went to work.
Mm-hmm.
It was hours before that. It was hours before that. But my sister was supposed to come and, get the kids. And then all of a sudden she called and said she can't make it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't know what to do.
You do you think it would have been a problem if you would have not been able to go to work that day? If you would have called your boss and told him that you didn't have childcare, so you couldn't go?
That's just something I can't do. I mean, right now we're in a financial situation, and you know, our PG&E was almost cut off last month.
Mm-hmm.
Was, I was able to, use my tips to get it turned on, to keep it, stayed on, and made arrangements with them. I'm just not in a situation. I mean, in the past, it wasn't like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before my last child, we never had to worry about money. Um, I didn't even have to worry about a babysitter. My sister, she kept my son,
Mm-hmm.
but also I was able to afford, care if needed.
Mm. So it sounds like not having stable childcare is something new for you. Also, your financial situation is something new. Um, but I see that you're working two jobs, so it sounds like you're determined to overcome these hurdles. How did you how did you find used to relax in the past?
Well, in the past, like I said, finances wasn't a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if I feel like I need to take, I had a job where, I can take some weekends off if I needed to. I can, go relax. I can go to a hotel if I need to. I can take my son. I can get on a plane or a bus and go places. It was never a problem. Now I'm barely making my car payments, barely keeping my PG&E on.
Um, so it um, sounds like it's really stressful for you right now. I mean, it sounds like money is really a big issue. Your life has changed, your career has changed, things in your life has changed. That's got to be stressful for you. Um, so, do you consider yourself to have a drinking problem, or do you feel like this was an isolated event?
I feel like this is an isolated event.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I'm not the one to always take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have gone out to dinner in those times when I was able to
Mm-hmm.
and had a drink, had a glass of wine. The only reason that I drank that day was kind of to wind down and just prepare for work.
Yeah. Do you think it's wise to have your kids in the car with you after you've been drinking?
I don't. However, I was not trying to put them at risk. I was actually trying to protect my children. I had to take them with me. I could not leave them
Mm-hmm.
in the home by themselves.
And that actually sounds like a really good instinctive way to care for your children. You didn't want to leave them at home, so which probably would not have been good either. So I mean, I kind of applaud your effort for thinking about your job. However, I don't want to condone drinking and driving with your children. I think that you know you need to explore that a little bit and see if how that could potentially be a problem. Like, why would you think the police were taking your children away from you because of that drinking? Why would they see that as a problem? You drinking and driving and not having them in a car seat.
Well, I guess it could have been a problem. It could have been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. I could have tried other means of getting my kids from point A to B or not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I just need people to also understand what I'm also going through. I try to be a good mother. I really do. I, it's just so hard for me. I want to be a good mother. I just sometimes when you're feeling all alone, you don't know what to do. The only help I have is my sister, and if she don't come through, what do I have?
Sounds like you really care about your kids, um, but you need a support system. Um, and the only family you have available is your sister. Can you think of anybody else that may be able to help you with child care, daycare situations, last minute emergency babysitting? Is there any friends that you trust or other family members that may be in the area?
My sister is all I got.
Mm.
My sister and I have been together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
She is like maybe 2.5 years older than I am. She kind of took care of me when no one else could.
Wow. So you and your sister are very close. How is she taking it? How does she feel about the kids being taken to CPS?
She felt a little guilty, and I think I even blamed her a little bit. But it's been hard for both of us to be at home and see my two nieces and nephew around the home, and my kids not there, and they're asking for their cousins.
I can only imagine how difficult that would be. Has you and your sister's relationship suffered because of this?
I don't think it suffered. However, it is still a little strange. The feeling in the home is just not right now, and I just don't know what I'm going to do if you all don't give me my kids back soon.
It sounds like you and your sister are a really good team. It sounds like you guys are really close. And you mentioned how she practically raised you, how you and her are really there for each other, and how she's also distressed by this whole situation of the kids being gone. And I'm wondering if she feels any type of guilt or remorse behind this situation too. Have you guys discussed it at all?
I haven't told her or talked to her really much about it.
How do you think she would respond if you did bring it up? Or how do you think she feels about this?
Well, I know she feels guilty. She would probably tell me, we've been through so much before, and I don't think I've been through anything harder, but we've been through some ups and downs in our lives. So we did what we had to do, and we got back on track. So I think my sister would tell me if the court is saying do 8 classes, she would tell me do 10.
Mm-hmm.
If the court tells me to get car seats, we already have them. We had the ones we had, we bought new ones. So my sister would tell me to keep my head up, be positive, and just go forward.
It sounds like your sister is very strong, a source of strength for the family, and it sounds like you two have overcome a lot of obstacles in the past, um, which makes me feel like together you guys can overcome this too. She also seems very supportive um, of the things that you've been required to do, like the 8 session class. Would she be willing, or how are you going to arrange childcare um, should you get your children back during that time?
Well, that was another thing my sister spoke to me about in the book before. She told me there was places out there to go, but we had each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I might even think I'm gonna have to look into something.
How do you feel about going attending those classes, those parenting classes?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was a bunch of crap in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but for me to get my children back, as my sister said, don't just do 8, do 10. So I'm willing to go the extra mile to get my children back.
Mm-hmm. And it might be nice to see what other people have to say. I understand the class is made up of other parents too, going through a situation where their children have been taken away. So it might even become a sense of a small support group.
I never thought about that. Thank you. I never
Sure.
thought about that. I think that can be thought of as something to look forward to.
Something positive, right? Right. Um, and also, I think if your sister is willing, she can come with you if you want to, her to come with you for support a couple of times or
Would they
whenever she
allow
can
that?
make. Definitely, definitely. They let you bring someone in to come with you for support.
What
The
about the
information is
kids?
good, and they do provide child care for those sessions. So there's child care available in the building. There's like a room down the hall, and they have a teacher in there, and the kids will stay in there during that session. So.
That sounds something that I would like. I mean,
Mhm.
I can definitely talk to my sister about it and see how she feels.
Okay, well, that's a great start. I heard you mention earlier about feeling a lot of pressure and stress because you were doing realty and that started slowing down, and so you had to depend more on the waitressing job to pay the bills. How do
Well,
you feel about that? Or how has that impacted
that has had a great impact. I mean, with that, I was really going strong. I mean, I have a 3-year-old. I went through my whole pregnancy with doing real estate.
you? Mm-hmm.
Before I even gotten pregnant, I was doing real estate. And for the market to crash as it did, it kind of took me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
I looked and looked, for other jobs, but nothing seemed to come up. I mean, I couldn't find anything. So when I got pregnant, again, I just felt, I needed employment.
you got the waitressing job?
I eventually got the waitress job.
I mean, it sounds like you were really persistent looking for a job, and you got one. So I
Yes.
think you need a little bit of credit for that. Some congratulations because
Thank
it's
you.
hard. It's hard to find a job, and uh, going from one field to another one, switching like that, is not easy for most people to do. So I think that you doing that. I think that you doing that and being able to make that transition shows a great amount of resilience and strength. So I definitely applaud you for that. Um, so what? So I understand you're not. There's an income difference. You're not making as much as you used to make during real estate, which has kind of made things a little bit hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my sister and I, and among us is 5 kids,
Mm.
aging from 5.5 to my youngest is 15 months.
Mm. Wow, it's a big family.
Yeah, and kids running everywhere, children needing milk, children needing pampers, children,
Mm-hmm.
5-year-old going to school, and it's hard work for the both of us.
Yeah.
And we really make it work. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I really think I will talk to my sister because I don't want her to feel guilty. But because she and I, we really come a long way.
Yeah.
We have really come a long way, and you know, I'm feeling better already.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad. It sounds like you guys have a really good um, family structure going on, and you guys are a unit. You guys are a really, close knit unit, and I'm sure the kids are able to look at that and see both of your work ethic. I think this is a hurdle that you need to, that you've gone through, but you guys will overcome it. You will get through this, and I'm very hopeful that you will conquer this, and you'll get your kids back. So I want to thank you for coming in. And uh, would you like to schedule another time to come in? Would you like to come in like next week?
You know, I think I like that because, like I said, I mean, the 8 classes, just in case they don't go the way I want them to, or if I
Mm-hmm.
think I need someone to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
would you be willing to just talk to me?
Absolutely. So you think this was helpful?
I do. I really do. It just made me see a different point of view, and I mean, it also made me think about, cause like I said, my sister and I, we not holding anything against each other, but
Mm-hmm.
we kind of walk through the house like, not that nothing's never happened,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like I know my kids are not there when hers are,
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be hard.
and but I just want to make this work. I want to go through courses. I want to do them. I want to get them over with.
Yeah. If you could wake up tomorrow and a miracle happened while you were sleeping, and but you didn't know this miracle was happening. So you woke up tomorrow morning. What would your life look like?
Oh wow, that's a big question. But I can tell you this: I know my children will be there.
Mm-hmm.
My children be waking up, mommy, mommy, mommy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I gotta say I'll be in a better workplace, have better job opportunities. Maybe even back in real estate. Um, I want to say I have to be like no DUI, uh, no CPS in my life because I am a good mom, and that we all just stay one big happy family.
Mhm. So it sounds like this miracle can actually happen. It seems like you're willing to go through these classes and these steps that you need to do to get your children back, so your children will be back with you. You have your real estate license, so that's always something that you can work towards when you have the time. So, and then you have your sister and and her children, and you guys are a strong unit. So I think that these are very attainable goals. To get your children back, to not get a DUI again, which of course would mean not drinking and driving. Um, but as you said, it's not really a big problem for you, maybe a one-time thing. So I think these are very attainable goals that we can start to focus on.
Thank
Okay? And I want to thank you for coming in. I'm going to go ahead and get you scheduled for next week and get you signed up for those parenting classes, okay?
Thank you. But
All
can we
right.
come? Can I come back in 2 weeks? I mean, at least after I do the first class.
Sure. Let's do it for 2 weeks from now. That way we can talk about how the first class went.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.